Welcome to the IslandStats.com football show, your weekly dose of all the action from Bermuda's top football leagues. We bring you in-depth coverage of the Premier and First Division, results, highlights, analysis, and exclusive interviews. We also keep you up to date with the latest news and developments from the Bermuda Football Association. Stay tuned for the IslandStats.com football show, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the beautiful game in Bermuda. Now let's join the IslandStats.com football show team. Well, good evening and welcome to this edition of the IslandStats.com football show. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is co-host Garrett Punchy Dill and Andrew Griffith. Gentlemen, first of all, we've had a very, very interesting weekend of football. Let me just run down the results that we have from beginning in the Premier Division on Friday night. It was the Boulevard Blazers 1, North Village Rams 5. Also on Friday night at the Devonshire Recreation Club, it was Devonshire Cougars 1, Dandytown Hornets 3. Yesterday at Police Field, it was Devonshire Colts 1, Paget Lions 0. And then today at Lords and St. David's, it was Crossroads 4, St. George's Colts 1. At Police Field, it was Young Man Social Club 0, PHC Zebras 2. And then in the First Division, yesterday up at Southampton Oval, it was Southampton Rangers 1, Robin Hood 1. Then today at Police Field, it was Vasco 4. Yes, 4. Wolves 2. And at Lords and St. David's, it was St. David's 1, Somerset Trojans 3. Just to let everyone know as well, we will be joined at the bottom of the hour by the women's senior national coach, Nikita Robinson, as well as two of her players, Ava Franzoni and Kenny Thompson. Will be joining us with the women set to play in the World Cup qualifier against Costa Rica next week. So let's get started. Punchy. Very interesting night on Friday night out at Devonshire Recreation Club, North Village, wanting to stay somewhat in the hope that all three teams above them have a mishap. They done the business, got early goals and kind of steadied the ship. What's your thoughts?
I did. I didn't get to the game, but I had a report on it. I just think that maybe it's a little too. I wouldn't say it's too late. But, of course, they're playing against Boulevard. But I just think that when you have Jai Beans back, seems to be fine, and all of a sudden he's not in the shape that I think we should be in at this time. But I just think that when you have those guys, but and then he starts scoring again, he's popping up to score these goals. That's a very good result. Yeah, that's a very good result for them. A very resounding win too.
Yeah, let me jump to Griff because Griff was at the game. Griff, did you think those early goals from North Village settled them down and allowed them to kind of coast after a while?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they did. It seemed like they coasted after that because they scored early and fast. So people thought it was going to be a rout. But I think they probably took them for granted after that and eased off a bit. So I think when Boulevard scored, that woke them up a little bit and it put some fight back in the game. But I would say the score is a bit flattering. Like Boulevard is not that bad. Like they played Village very tough, and it was the three first half goals were like little mistakes. It wasn't like they were good goals that Village had to fight for. Just like one little slip and Village made them pay for it. Other than that, like they wouldn't fight like neck and neck with Village.
That Boulevard goal was something to watch, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the Boulevard goal. That striker, they think, well, I don't see Boulevard as much as I see Village, but their fans said that striker is because he's fighting for scraps all season, is that he just does it all on his own. He chases down every ball and he is fast. So he got the ball, like Village should have cleared the ball, but he won it, turned, and he stung it, and it was right in the top corner. The Village goalkeeper did not even move to attempt to save it.
He had a ticket to come in the gate to watch that there.
I heard some Way to go was scored. I think it goes back to Quinn Otterbridge. He made a terrible mistake. His passing, what I gather from what the information I got, and but that young man scored a very spectacular goal, and I've heard quite a bit of good things about him. He's got a good touch. His dribbling, he's energetic.
Oh.
They say he's not a bad player. Maybe recruitment starts at the end of the year.
It's fast. It's real fast.
To be honest, I think Boulevard needs to hold on to everything they have if they're going to make a bid. If they do go down, and if they want to make a bid to come back up, because they have to keep some sort of unity in the team instead of guys they go down and then come back. You know what I mean? It just breaks it all up.
Well, I think that I have discussions about that. I think what's happening in Bermuda, I've had some discussion with people about. I think we discussed this also amongst us, that teams that you got one or two very good young promising players from like this young kid from Boulevard. I mean, I think that he needs to be playing for. If Boulevard go down, he needs to make a decision about come and play for a better team. And I'm not. It's of course we're talking about the change what's happening in Bermuda, but I don't. When you see somebody with that talent and he's playing with that team. I'm not talking about just where the position is in the league. But I think that a lot of these young players have got to make decisions. Even you come from the neighborhood, yes, that's all your friends. But in terms of moving on and making sure that you could start getting better and better, you need to be playing for a better team. He definitely needs to. That's yeah.
I think, Punch, it comes down to what does the player want? What is their desire?
Good point. Yes, Earl.
Because if they just want to play on a Sunday, then stay where you are. But if you're looking to win trophies or even get any national setup, that type of thing, then yes, I agree with you. They need to be playing in the higher division on a regular basis to see what their pace is like, because the international pace is 3 steps higher.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So yes, it all depends on the person's ambition.
That's
and what
right.
they want to get out of football.
Very true, Earl. And I think I've had the discussion with again people from other clubs and we talked about that. The promise of these young players. What are their ambitions? We get this young man from Boulevard. What are their ambitions to are they just going to play? Or again, I'm just repeating what you said. Or do they work? They have higher ambitions, and I think that's most important for these young good players.
Yeah, and then the second game, Griff, you got to see a bit of that as well. Dandytown scoring early. Obviously now Devonshire Cougars are chasing the game, but they did manage to get a goal. But they went down 3-1 because it was 3 goals in the last 10 minutes. Give us your opinion on just Dandytown and the way they shaped up against a team like Devonshire Cougars.
So they got the early goal, which I guess they wanted. But I think, as we say it all the time about Dandytown, when they got the early goal, you said, okay, they're going to go on and they're going to build on that. It seemed like they don't know how to kill teams off. Like Cougars, it could very well have been 1-1. Cougars got back into the game. They had a lot of shots. People made some saves. But Dandytown seemed like they were just letting them hang around. That's what worries me about Dandytown. That killer instinct, they don't seem to have it.
Is that what your opinion is, Punchy?
I think Griffith really said it right. I've watched some of it, and then the total control of games, and then all of a sudden they take the foot off the pedal, the gas pedal. They started cruising. And I saw them again going back before Christmas. We're going back in 2025, the game against Social Club or Devonshire Rack. They were in total command, the first half in complete control. Then all of a sudden, Social Club just persistent, and they just kept at them. And that game could have been a different score. So I agree with what Griffith's saying. Is that sometimes when you are ahead, you cannot afford to let be slack about it. I think that has been part of the problem.
Would you say one of the problems for a team like Devonshire Cougars, Griff, is their ability to have a recognized goalkeeper?
I think it's yes and no. They seem to be okay, but it's not convincing. I would say more that they need to score more so that it puts less pressure on the defense.
Right.
But
But that's the scenario of
what I found a
Boulevard
little weird.
Yeah, that's the scenario of both Boulevard and Cougars.
Say that again?
That's the scenario of Boulevard and Cougars. They're letting in so many goals, having to score so many more goals in order not to lose.
Yeah. And they started the game with Che Brankman on the bench. And when he did come, they brought him on in the first half, I guess it was again, right? He didn't look, so I'm wondering like what that was about. Is that a disciplinary thing or they wanted to try something? But to me, like he should start every game from what I see.
Well, coaches' decisions. That's one thing. You never know what unless
when he came on, he caused a lot of problems.
Yeah. I think he plays a lot better when he's facing the goal. When he's got his back to goal. If he's the out and out striker, I think because although he's a big guy, he's one of those guys that likes to avoid contact unless he's the one administering it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I've watched him a bit.
Like
yeah,
he can make something out of nothing, and he gets in trouble.
Yeah,
he's one of those. Yeah,
that's him facing the goal. See.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think his problem, not his problem, maybe he's not in shape that he should be in for his real, because he's clever, he's very clever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like you said, they're all playing with the back towards the goal. Like if the ball comes up to him from out of the back and he plays the ball back into the midfield.
Right.
And then the next pass is going to come over the top where he's got to make the sprint. He doesn't get him. No. So he's not got the pace to do that.
Right.
Again, but he's not a bad. He's pretty smart. Like I said, he's a pretty smart player. His first touch is good. Yeah. He has an eye for goal. He can hurl off defenders, of course, with his weight. But I just think that if he was in better shape, he'll be a so much better player. And talking about Cougars, there's rumblings going on. I mean, good thing they could have been in the relegation fight too. Yeah. But there are some. I've heard there's a bit of, problems going over there. So we have to wait and see about that.
Right. Transfer season will come up, and we'll see how
old is
turned out. I don't think she's 30.
How old is Brandon?
I don't think he's 30 yet.
Oh wow!
Remember, he came out when he was 16. That was when he was 16. Then he went away to school.
Yeah.
He came back. He played for Crossroads for a few seasons, and now he's back at Cougars. He's back at Cougars. So I don't think he's 30 as of yet. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but those when you are a larger player, those are the people they're not going to play until they're 40. According to players, when you carry that much weight, you start to break down.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
Well, yeah, he's actually 31.
Oh, he's 31. Okay.
Yeah, it's 31.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So
I just think that
it's got a couple more seasons left, maybe.
Yeah. If you're coaching him, if you're coaching a person like that, I will make sure that it's important for him to get in good shape. Right. Imagine him that maybe he's died. Maybe if he got in good shape, I don't know what his jaw capacity is, but if he got in good shape, he could be a thorn in a lot of teams. He could be in the side. I'm telling you, again, a real good target man. And has, but that's what I think his problem is. And can he train as often as he can, as he wants to?
Right.
Maybe job and family. Who knows about that?
Right.
So,
right.
Can we discuss something interesting that happened in that game? Because everybody that was there looked around when it happened. what's going on. So at one point, the ball went out for a throw, but it was at the end of the field, furthest away from the assistant referee, and I think the referee might have been blocked. So they both looked at each other, trying to figure out whose ball it was. So the referee made a call, and then the fourth official stepped up and said, "No, it should be going this way." And everybody was like, "Hey, what's the fourth official doing in there?" So we had a long discussion about what is the fourth official's rule and should they be doing that. But again, as long as we get the call right, is what matters. But it seems strange that the fourth official jumped in.
Well, the fourth official is still part of the team, and if they can assist in any way, they should. It's the same way if an incident happens on the field that neither official sees, he or she then can make note to the referee that this incident took place. If it was an off the ball incident or something that they saw, because they're part of that. Fourth official is part of the unit.
So I looked up Law 6, which covers the other officials, and that what you're describing, that's specifically listed in the task that they're supposed to assist with.
Right.
The making calls like that is not in the list. But at the end of the day, I guess we're right. As long as they make the game, get it right, help the game to flow.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take our first commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk about Devonshire Colts yesterday, and then the other Premier Division games today. We'll be right back.
You ever crack open a Coke and just perfect?
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
Valentine's Day is about showing love in simple, thoughtful ways. Whether you're crafting the perfect meal at home or just looking for a sweet treat, at Lindo's, you'll find everything you need to make it special. It's easy to put something meaningful together at Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day, for over 135 years. It's been clear, Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian. Bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, after the Friday night game that saw Dandytown win, Dandytown had moved to the top of the table ahead of the PHC Zebras and ahead of Devonshire Colts. And then yesterday, Devonshire Colts had their turn. They would face off against the Paget Lions at Police Field. An early goal from Jazade Samuels was all that it took for Devonshire Colts to go back tied for the lead, but they both have the same amount of goal difference, Dandytown and Devonshire Colts, but Dandytown had conceded considerably less goals, so they were top of the table. But Devonshire Colts still showing that they are a threat. They're hanging in there, doing everything that they possibly need to do to stay in it and look for 2 trophies this year, because they're still in the FA Cup semifinal and they're still in this hunt for this league. So Griff, give me your assessment of Devonshire Colts right now.
Oh, they seem like that's 2 weeks in a row they won 1-0, so they seem to be defending well and doing what they need to get done. I think they will want to have some breathing room and win by more than 1 goal, but they say teams that win the title win a lot of games by that 1-0 score. So they're showing some consistency.
Yeah. Punchy. Obviously, it's gotta be a big concern for Paget Lions right now. You know, they're in this relegation battle. Whether they want to believe it or not, but you know, it could go either way for them. They need to get some points, but 1-0 against Devonshire Colts, it's got to be a little disappointing for Paget. You think?
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, my concern again for Paget is that I think that I do believe they're going to survive. I think they're going to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they will. They'll be one of the teams that survives. The thing is, but they never carried on from their achievements last year, and you're seeing they spiraling or going where they should be going that way. They're going that way, and against North Village they weren't bad, but again, I still think that they're lacking good leadership on the field. Now, I thought that the center half, the one that was picked for the Bermuda national team, right, will make a lot of difference. And when you are in a team like that, you have to have a commanding presence as a center half who's had international experience. And I don't think they're getting it from him. He came on substitute against North Village. I forget his name, but I just don't think they'll get it. I think Paget, there's still something lacking with them. I don't know. It's that what happens is that, a team with talent, and I still think in certain areas of their team, they're still a little bit, they're not technically sound, but they just seem to be that this year has not been a very good year for them. It hasn't been. And you can put that down to, would it be down to the coaching or would it be down to the players themselves? But, when you watch them play, they seem to be really put an effort in.
Yeah, they were never out of the game yesterday. They were never out of the game yesterday.
Yeah, they just seem to put the effort in. But what is it that you think? What I think is lacking is just the quality of finishing.
Yeah, remember last season, the young Hart was scoring all those goals for him.
Yes.
I think he's only got about 1 or 2 this season. Which, if you don't have somebody that's kind of lighting up the league for you in the goal scoring department, it becomes a struggle because the other people are not chipping in, as freely as they were last season. So that's always going to be a struggle for them until they identify somebody who's going to be like a leading goal scorer for them.
That's right, a lethal finisher.
Yeah.
I think that would soften the burden in terms of competing with the other when they get into these games like this 1-0. That I'm sure they had chances. I'm sure, very sure. But I since I've watched them, that can start. That can start being your minuses, meaning that you're playing these games. The games are tight, and you're not winning, and the chances are coming, but they're not being scored. So I think that's one thing that they have to look at for the next year.
Yeah, Greg.
So what you're describing is D1 stubble. So when the older players retire, it's hard to replace one of a kind players.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens? I think it's the next one coming along. Like they struggle to replace Rock. Rock's don't come back out just to start. So as our players get older, it's a neighborhood team and people that are somewhat connected to the coach. So when they age out, who do you have coming through?
Yeah.
And it's difficult to replace really good players.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, like Shakir Smith, when it's getting up there. When he goes out, who's coming behind him?
Yeah. Would you if you was part of the coaching staff, would you move Shakir back to a striker? Because right now he's playing left back.
Yeah, but I think his pass, so it's a lot. They need the pace to negate a lot of the teams they come up against.
Yeah,
it's a difficult decision.
Right. Yeah. Well, they need girls.
Yeah.
But that's a good point, Darryl.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
And he started his career as a wide player. See.
Yeah. Right. But he could probably do damage on the middle. He probably can. I know he could play at the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they need. That's up to the coach. That's a coach's decision. Right. But I think Shakir, he's got talent, and he's getting old. Like Griffith said, like against North Village, they played him wide. as
Right.
as a wingback. And so he wasn't very effective, but the chances that he did get, if getting out of a long goal as often, and I think he should be,
Yeah.
and that's where you're going to be, it's a lot of people that you rely on to score your
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah,
But it's
right
too far
now.
back. I
Yeah,
think
right
you're
now
right.
he's
Or
got
maybe the
one
coaching
really
staff
left in
should
the
look at
field.
him playing center as a striker.
Yeah, yeah. Let him use his energy going forward as opposed to
Yeah,
trying
and
to chase somebody.
he has a, he has a lethal shot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what we're going to do, because we do have the women's national coach, senior national coach, as well as two players, Kenny Thompson and Eva Frazzoni. We're going to take a second commercial break. When we come back, we're going to be joined by these ladies who are set to take on Costa Rica at the Philadelphia Southfield Stadium at the National Sports Center on March 3rd. We'll be right back.
Looking for a lighter way to refresh this February? Try Viva Zero Sugar and Zero Calorie Sparkling Water with juice and antioxidants. It's a sparkling water with juice enhanced with antioxidants for a clean, refreshing taste. It's a great choice when you want flavor without the heaviness, whether you're at work, at home, or spending time with family and friends. Distributed by John Barrett & Sons and available at Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. And we are joined by the three ladies. First of all, good evening and welcome.
Good evening.
Evening, ladies. Yeah,
Yeah.
good evening.
Coach, obviously, we have a very important match coming up on the 3rd against Costa Rica right here in Bermuda. Whenever playing at home, is it exciting for you, or do you like to play away from home?
It's exciting for me whenever we play. I enjoy being in the presence of these phenomenal women, and we have a really good time. Our last tour was overseas, but it was a really good tour, and we really enjoyed our time. But of course, playing at home is always something special.
Sure. And Kenny, welcome. You had a relaxing day today, watching your team win. How was that?
Yeah, we were off the back of a loss, so yeah, for the girls to get back out and get 3 points, get ourselves back on track was really good to see and watch.
Did you call Eva about her 7-goal? Don't shake your head. Don't shake your head. You can't, despite coming out on the wrong side, it's okay. How are you feeling?
It's been a.
Hey, Earl, you wanted to stay. You wanted to stay in the cold. Let's
just stay.
Pick out things to talk about.
It's been a really tough season for my team, and right now we're just trying to. We've got a lot to fix and a lot to build on. Really talented girls, but a lot of things out of our control as well as us. So we just keep going on, and it's still mathematical able for us to stay up. But right now, as that game ended, my focus is on Bermuda, and then so yeah, tough game, but tough season.
Yeah, Coach. Obviously, you have at your disposal our talent at the senior level. Females you've been working with for a very long time. Just getting these ladies together. Obviously, we've seen them play in the first 2 matches. Getting them together and getting them to all be on that same page. What is that like for you to ensure that everything is fine-tuned and the chain is ready to be pulled?
A lot of late nights, a lot of putting plays together. While they're sleeping, I'm definitely up with the MacBook and putting together stuff. And these guys won't see it till tomorrow, but tonight I'm gonna flood them with passing sequences, tactical build-ups, set pieces, all this types of things. But my brain doesn't stop. Switching up the formation a little bit. But these guys are intelligent. So it's not gonna be too much information. I don't like to give them too much information. I just like to equip them with as many tools as they can get. And what happens on the pitch on the 3rd is really up to them. And they know how I coach. I coach in training. We do everything we have to do in training. I send them what I need to send them. Because on game day, I just like to watch them to go out there and work their magic. And, despite the 4-1 defeat to Guatemala. That was probably one of my best games to see the energy, the togetherness, and the fight in these young ladies. So that's what preparing looks like for me right now. It's a lot of time. It's the session planner, video footage. I mean, I'm watching Costa Rica. I know they play a 4-3-3. If we give a 4-4-2, I got to figure out how we man to man mark in that formation. I kind of end up doing the work of 5 coaches by myself, but it's worth it. It's worth it, and it will be worth it in the end.
Talking about coaches, before I bring Punchy and Griff in, talking about the coaching, who do you have working with you as far as assistant and staff members?
Oh, funny you should ask. So Carl Roberts has been my assistant all this time, and he remains as one of my assistants. But I have brought in another assistant. I would say that probably going to be the most memorable and exciting time for me, and that's no disrespect to anybody else that I've coached with. But my first coach, my first best friend, my forever coach, and my forever best friend, Kelvin Patches Deal, will be joining my staff. So it's going to be quite an honor to walk out on the pitch with my brother in front of a home crowd. That's my staff. I also have Tracy Rambo Murphy, who will be coming in from Canada as a goalkeeper coach. She traveled with us to the Cayman Islands and to Guatemala. So she will be also a part of my coaching staff. But yeah, it's exciting. I mean, to get to coach with Patches is going to be quite an honor. I mean, I don't want that to be the highlight, but quite the honor for me.
Don't wear him out and send it back to village tired, right?
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He might learn a few things from these girls.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Hey, but tell you what, you better hope he doesn't like it too much.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that part.
Once they come over to the dark side, it's very hard to get them back.
Yeah, Punch.
Yes, good evening, ladies. It's such a pleasure to have you all on. Thank you so much for joining the show. What I would ask the three of you, or maybe one of you, to talk about your first game against Costa Rica. As we know, it's a powerhouse in Latin America, like Honduras. It's the under-17 girls. Their first game was against Suriname, and I expect a little bit more out of Suriname. But you up against one of the powerhouses. That's your first game. What do you think? What are your plans, or how do you guys feel about that? Because as I know, as we all know, that in Latin American countries how serious it is. But what is it that, even though you got that draw against Costa Rica the first game, your preparation for them, what would you say is you're doing your plus and your minuses against them, studying them? But what do we need to do? What would you need to do in the first game?
Oh, you mean the draw we got?
Yes,
I don't know. We didn't get a draw. We haven't drawn. We beat Cayman 4-1 and we lost. We beat Cayman 4-0 and we lost 4-1 to Guatemala.
Yes.
So this is actually our third match. We saw what we.
I'm sorry about
we
that.
saw. Yeah, no worries. We saw what we saw against Guatemala. We know the level that we have to play at, and if anybody wants to go back and watch the game against Guatemala, you'll see that we kind of ran away from our game plan, and our game plan was keep the ball in their half. But these girls are really good players. They're playing out of the back, and we still try to play through the line. So we're not afraid of Costa Rica. We know what Costa Rica's going to bring. Costa Rica's a World Cup team. But at the end of the day, I have full belief in these players to go out there and play. And at training today, I told the girls, I said, we're not coming here to sit back and just absorb. We're going to play and be able to transition. So it's a team that's able to play and transition the best that's going to be successful on the night. So our physical attributes have to match our mental attributes, have to match our tactical, have to match our technical. So, at the end of the day, we speak a lot. We talk about those countries too. And hey, maybe they'll be coming in overconfident, haven't looked at our result against Guatemala. But at the end of the day, it's who shows up to play on the day, and anything can happen. We see it around the world. We see it around the world. And so, just the other day in under 17 boys, Jamaica knocked out Canada. So it is the game has got to be played on the day. And if these girls come to play, I have complete total confidence in them coming to play. They don't fear anyone. We don't go into the match afraid or, oh my gosh, it's Costa Rica. We don't go in overconfident and naive either. But we prepared to go and play them.
Yeah, Griff.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to see you with the under 20s last year in Trinidad. A lot of times we like to see the new young players breaking in. Have you called up any of the younger players, and do you expect to give them any time? And for the players, would you be able to tell us what it was like playing your first game with the senior national team?
Yeah, I have included. Sorry, Dave. I have included
No,
younger
no.
players. As you saw, in Cayman, Evans Welch actually played. She's part of that current under 17 squad. Also, a part of that squad was is Amaya. And she also traveled with us. Sayoni is another under 20 player. And this time around, we have Jayla Peets Butterfield, who is a part of the squad. We did have Asia A, but unfortunately, she's picked up an injury that now deems her unavailable. Another under 20 player. So yeah, I'm always been a firm believer. If you're good enough, you're good enough. So we do look to blood some of that young talent. And if the under 17s were not in competition right now, Evans for sure would be a part of this squad.
Okay.
From a player's perspective, I think it's exciting right now seeing those young girls. All of us in the senior squad were messaging and watching U17 and sending them messages and really supporting them. Also, what Mr. Dill, the question before that going into it is we don't fear teams anymore because a lot of us have been around for quite a while. A lot of us have played through a lot of adversity when we would play at Jamaica, we'd play at Haiti, and a lot of scores. We were not at a level to compete with them. We're not there anymore. I think the big turning point was competing against the Dominican Republic, and also for Guatemala, we had so much adversity that we still were able to get through that game. I mean, Kenny's on this call, but was literally playing with one arm. Some people coming back from injuries like myself. So I think we're excited now a lot of us are a lot fitter. And we have a lot of experience, and playing at home is something that you can't really put into words, and we're going to really need Bermuda to get behind us, and it's possible. But yeah, we trust ourselves and we back each other, and we're a very unified team. And what's good for those young girls coming through now is they see that, and hopefully they're looking up to us and to be a part of it, and they're in our squad and traveling with us and seeing how we tick so that they can bring that into their into the younger teams, into U17 and U20. And for myself, I mean, my debut into the senior team, it's been a journey. I won't say how many years ago that was, because I'm still gonna tell myself it's quite young.
I know.
I mean, it's playing for your country. I looked up to those girls that I was playing with. I think now being at the older age of it speaks for it, but it's been an amazing journey, and I'm still feel like there are years to come. But yeah, I mean, it's everything to play for your country, and now I just hope to keep trying to push that and to keep that high level of honor that it is, and make sure that doesn't leave. In a small country, it's a lot smaller of a pool, but it should still be as honored as if we were United States and there were thousands and thousands. So that's kind of just something that I'm trying to keep in the fold, and for us to keep taking it as big as it is, playing for our country. And Costa Rica has no idea what's coming.
Yeah. Kenny, let me ask you, because after the performance against Cayman, obviously Guatemala targeted you, not allowing you to have that much space and so forth. But how do you in games adjust to that, both physically and mentally, when teams target kind of you as a player?
I think it's something that I've gotten used to in my career in general. I think I've always had to adjust based on what came in the game at hand, whether that was just a different physicality, the style of play was maybe different in a game. But if a team is coming after me, it means that my teammates have more space. So if I gotta take a few tackles and drag them away so someone else creates a bit of space, then that's what's needed, and I don't mind doing that job. definitely hurts a bit more. But we all have to make adjustments to get results in football, and so if I have to have a bit of a harder time so that we get that end result, then that's fine with me.
Yeah, Coach, trying to sort that stuff out because obviously Kenny is a big target for these teams because of the talent she is and what she's able to do. Adjusting to make sure that we get the best out of her as well as the team. How do you go about that?
Yeah, well, the team understands that they all have to play their role. And if that's the case, I mean, that could be with any player, right? But if that's the case, then we make sure that we are there to support Kenny as best as we can. So being an option so that she doesn't have to keep the ball, so she doesn't have to take those hits, all right? Because we know that she's going to move the ball. We know what we're going to get from her. And being on the other hand to make sure that we alleviate the pressure that's on her. And everybody, which will happen and which did happen, step up. You know what I mean? We'll step up so that she doesn't become the only target, so that we have many targets on the pitch. Yeah. We know that they will be well aware of who Kenny Thompson is and what Kenny brings. But she has a very good supporting cast to help her deal with that, as she did in Guatemala, as Eva said. She played with one arm. And I mean, it's a testament to the entire group. So yeah, you can't always, you make those tactical adjustments. I can move all over the pitch, but no matter where you move the target, you know what I mean? The ball's going to find them, and so are the players.
Mm-hmm.
So
you got another question? Okay.
Yeah, before we move on, you cheated me out of one of my questions, Earl. I wanted to hear from Kenny what it was like when she played her first game for the senior team.
Kenny, you want to answer that?
Yes.
It was rough. We lost to Dominican. It was rough.
It took a breath away. That's what
Don't
it was.
cry, Kenny. Don't cry.
Ask me how she was.
Yeah, still a bit of a sore subject. But I think the only word that can describe it is pride, really. I think that debut was a long time coming, and to finally have it happen was a big moment for myself and my family. So that's the main takeaway that I'm taking from that game. But overall, it was an amazing experience to be with the girls for the first time and just start on this journey. And where we are now, what is it? Over 2 years later, we've improved a lot. We've, made steps to give ourselves better fighting opportunities to go the distance. And yeah, so I just always can't wait to be back on the next camp with these lot.
Yeah. Punch?
Yeah, you ladies, again, so glad to have you on the show. But what I want to say is that about the support that you will get on against Costa Rica, I'm very sure of that. You ladies are like the pioneers of ladies football in Bermuda. And when I'm sitting in the stands, I just to let you know, the bunch of young girls that are taking the game up, who are really, I can hear them calling your names when I'm seeing you guys play up there. How do you feel about that? Because I think, I don't know if it's like a weight on your shoulders, but from a country our size, it's wonderful to see that you are carrying the flag for women's soccer in this country. And do you have feedback on that in terms of development now for the country? Can you give me any information or what you think about that?
For myself, I don't really think it as like pressure, but more it's why you play. And I mean, it means for me personally, it means everything. The fact that you have young girls coming up to you in the grocery store, or now like the way that social media is, or messages, or we send messages and they're so shocked that we watch them and everything like that. And at the end, we've had great results in Bermuda. We've had tough ones as well, but they're still behind the fences or meeting us at the end of the game and wanting to speak with us. I think it's a drive more than a pressure. It makes us, as we walk out and we can see our family, friends, but people that we don't know are cheering for us, or they come up to us in the street and they want to know when our next game is. And yeah, I think it's a drive, and for all of us, it just makes us one more reason for us to make sure that we show up and make our country proud and make those young girls want to have the same experience.
Yeah.
Ms. Thompson, I'm going to ask you, you're in Bournemouth. I lived there for a while. I'll greet you when I see you when you're red and black. Yes, I did live in Bournemouth. Yes, I'm sure. Maybe your coach probably tell you that. But your experience in being in Bournemouth, the surroundings, because when I was there, I don't think they had the training facilities that they have now. What's it like now? What's it like being in Bournemouth and playing for them?
Yeah, I've been here just over 2 years now, and it's been a night and day difference from when I first got here to where we are now. So we've got, obviously, the new training ground is top notch, one of the best in the country. It's unbelievable facilities that we get to access, and just the standard now of the team that we have and the expectations that we have for ourselves, the standards that we set day in, day out is just completely different. And it's a privilege to be a part of, I'm just trying to enjoy it best I can, making the most of the opportunity that's at hand, what we could possibly achieve this season, and just the city as a whole is, I think it's more up my alley. I'm not a big city type of girl, and I don't want to be in the middle of nowhere. And this is probably like the perfect balance as well. So just everything in general here is just been amazing.
Yeah. Last question, Griff.
I just wish them all the best. Looking forward to the game, and hope everything goes well. And most of all, send my coach back in one piece.
actually, your team probably be asking for this coach here.
Maybe a swap out.
No, but yeah, I mean, Bermuda, come out and I mean, I am actually so excited. I'm having sleepless nights, not just from preparation, but like I can't wait to see everybody. Everybody gets in the next couple of days, and we check in on the 26th. And I'm really excited about this group and this camp that's coming up. And I'm gonna make sure that they're in the right space mentally and definitely physically. Don't worry, I'm not going to be doing any high intensity anything. Everything is about gelling together, understanding where we need to be, how we need to be. Hey, Griff, on Friday, maybe you could come watch us play at the stadium. We're playing your boys at 6 o'clock.
That
Yeah,
actually.
we'll get hurt up feeling.
Oh my dear.
Yeah, you gotta.
Which sideline is Patches going to be on?
But I can tell you what, it's gonna be checked into the hotel, so they might coast themselves. So he will be with me. He will be on the sideline with me. I can guarantee that. Those guys have to figure it out.
Jamaica's on his own there.
Yeah, it's gonna be Patty Lavelle. Yeah, he's gonna be on his own. But
he might need to take his daddy with him.
But yeah, guys, come out and see. Obviously, it's not going to be a high intensity. We're not trying to get anybody injured, but it's just a game to give us Costa Rica feel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Iron sharpens iron, and give us an opportunity to work on our offense and defense transitions. So yeah, that's that'll be happening Friday up at the North Field. If anybody wants to come out and have a peek at these girls prior, and then get excited about what's to come on the following Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Well, from us here at Island Stats and the Football Show and our viewers, we want to wish you ladies all the best. We probably will have a pregame show before your match on the 3rd. And, we'll give people an update on how things are going, how preparation has been, and so forth. And Coach, we'll be talking to you as we get closer. Obviously, it's a lot of work to be put in, and just getting a few messages here now. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
But okay, so we're gonna
take guys.
Yeah, we're gonna take another commercial break, and when we come back,
so
we'll finish our roundup of the Premier Division and then First Division. Ladies, enjoy your night.
Thank you.
You as well. Thank you.
Bye.
Beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the line, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, called the Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset. is proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digicel is proudly Bermudian. Digicel is proudly Bermudian.
You ever crack open a Coke and just... perfect.
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
Super Bowl Sunday is all about the gathering, cheering, and sharing good food. At Lindo's, you'll find everything you need for game day. Wings, snacks, drinks, dips, and easy options everyone will enjoy. Stock up ahead of time, keep things simple, and enjoy every moment of the game with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. Well, gentlemen, to rejoin the look back at the weekend results. Earlier today at Lords and St. David's, Crossroads picked up a big win over St. George's, 4-1. Two former St. George's players, Donovan Thompson scored once, Paul Simon scored twice. It's one of those things where Crossroads always seem to put up a good fight against St. George's and for the most part, always get the better of them. Punchy, your thoughts on just Crossroads themselves?
Oh yeah, that's funny about Crossroads. When Norfolk played them, and I thought they had created quite a few chances also against Norfolk, and the score was ended up 5-2. But I just think that playing Crossroads at home is going to be difficult for any team. And the spirit, there's a never say die attitude with them, which I do like. Of course, with the coach, yeah. And that's a good result for them. That's a very good result for them. And, they're not in no competitions now. They don't have to play for survival. I think they're safe. But there's a building blocks for them. You know, maybe they might be able to recruit some more players in certain positions that I think they need, because they do have two lethal strikers in Paul Simmons, you said, right? Paul Simons and
Donovan Thompson.
Donovan Thompson, yeah. He didn't play against Paul Simons, to play against North Village, but Donovan Thompson, if they can recruit some more players, especially at the back, I think they're gonna be. I think they'll be. There's a growing club, and I think that they'll be fine. But that's a very good result for them.
Yeah, Griff, St. George's.
I think what some fans left messages in there over the last few weeks that they were going through a injury bug. So maybe this result shows that the past some of these injuries, or maybe St. George's was the right tonic for them to help them get well. So we should look out for them for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, they're putting together some results, which is kind of turning them around. The last few weeks. So yeah. And then the final result of the weekend in the Premier Division was PAC Zebras defeating Young Man Social Club 2-0 at Police Field.
This game was in St. David's, correct?
What's that? No, the PAC game was at Police Field, with PAC beating Social Club 2-0, and that result put PAC back on top of the table, 2 points clear of Denby Town and Devonshire Colts. Obviously, huh? No, I'm here. Punchy, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Have we lost Earl?
No,
No, I can hear him.
Yeah.
You hear Earl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let him come back in.
Right.
Griff. Are you can you hear us now, Griff? Okay, I'll send him a message.
Okay.
Yeah, Punchy. PAC going up to Police Field with a team like Social Club. Social Club's never easy up there.
No, I've been watch a full half of that, and I tell you in later parts of games, Russell missed a chance that was unbelievable. But there wasn't such a great game. But what again? Social Club had chances. Zico missed when it was only 1-0. Zico missed a chance that would have made it 1-0. I thought it wasn't a very good game. It was a scrappy game, and those type of games, again, it gets back down to finishing. That game could have easily been 2-2. Could have been 2-2. Again, the Social Club. You're fighting them, but the quality is what they lack. Except for Zico, I'm not saying they didn't got other players. They work hard. And then Clay Dowell's playing the girl. Clay Dowell's doing a great job. I really do like that. I really, him playing the girl. But I just think Social Club is probably where they are because they lack that type of, quality players, and especially up front, along with Zico. If Zico got a little bit, missed passes going to Zico. But it's difficult to play up that field anyway.
Yeah.
The conditions weren't that bad. It's just that the surface. And I just didn't think it was a well-played game. It was a scrappy game. Passes were given away too easy.
Right.
But again, PAC came out on top.
Yeah. Griff, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Somebody too. I don't know if this is true, but I heard, did Streaker play and go for him a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I heard that. Yes.
I'm not sure.
What? So what's happening with the goalkeeping situation?
Well, remember they had a goalkeeper sent off. Another goalkeeper was injured. So I guess they went back to a veteran who, remember, because he was still registered with them because he was coaching them for a season.
Right.
Yeah. So after he left Rangers, I think he was player coach. They need to sort something out because again they're leaking in girls, and as Punchy said, I mean Zico is one person, but the surprise they had. Remember they had a young man scoring last year. What was his last name?
Was it Hartman?
Hartman, yes. And he's struggling to find the net. I don't know if he's changed position or has been injured, but you haven't seen that regular goal score the same way as the young man Hart was for Paget last year. So it's those type of things where if you're not getting regular contributions from 2 or 3 guys, then obviously you're going to end up struggling at the wrong end of the table. So for Social Club, they need to sort that out really, really quick.
So is Clay playing in goal because he's injured, or is the next best goalkeeper?
He'll be the next best goalkeeper.
He's probably the next best goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And he's doing a great job.
Yeah. He couldn't do nothing about the first PAC goal, though.
No, he couldn't do nothing about that. Yeah. And I think the second one. But again, PAC. Again, well, what's going to be so interesting? The games that are coming up midweek. Am I correct? We are told about that, but those games coming up. Oh,
yeah. Well, let's quickly talk about the first division because Somerset Trojans have now taken the lead via the better defensive record over Robin Hood. Robin Hood played Southampton Rangers yesterday, and Robin Hood needed an 87th minute equalizer to draw a 1-1.
As I look at my paper from last week, you guys dodged a close one. I was the only one that picked Rangers.
That's okay. None of us got points. That draw allowed Somerset, still with a game in hand, to draw a level on points after they beat St. David's 3-1. To go on level on points with Robin Hood with a game in hand. So right now,
do you know who that game is against? The game in hand.
It was the weekend that all that weather. Who were they supposed to play? Vasco. I think it's Vasco.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. I mean, And then the other game, I guess the eyebrows raiser, Vasco picked up their first win of the season, defeating Wolves 4-2 at Police Field.
Did the Department of Immigration just issue some work permits to some new Brazilians or something? What happened there?
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? I tell you, and Antoine Russell scored for him.
Woohoo!
He's played for Vasco before.
Okay.
Well,
it's got to be it. The Wolves I saw battled with Somerset, and they battled them. They played the other week. They seem better than what the record says. So this Vasco result is definitely surprising, and I wonder if Vasco couldn't have ruled out the same team that been ruling out all season. It's got to be new players involved.
Who knows?
Well, we take a look when
Vasco picked up the
team
first win of the season, defeating Wolves.
Wow, that's a real surprise. Yeah, well,
definitely.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at our picks from last week. Starting with the matches, Devonshire Cougars and Dandy Town. We all took Dandy Town.
Yep.
Devonshire Colts and Paget. We all took Devonshire Colts. Boulevard and North Village. We all took North Village. Crossroads and St. George's. Punch and I took St. George's, and Griff, you took a draw, so none of us got that right. Social Club and PHC, we all took PHC. Robin Hood and Southampton Rangers. Myself and Griff, we took Robin Hood.
Punchy took Rangers, yeah. All right.
And Vasco and Wolves, we all took Wolves. And then the final game, St. David's and Somerset, we all took Somerset. So across the board, we all got 5.
Yeah.
That moves Griff on to 79. I'm on to 72, and Punch is on to 71.
No, that was the total from last week.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. 84, 77, and 76.
Oh, okay.
I didn't scroll down. Okay, so as Punchy alluded to, it's midweek games. Dandy Town is Wednesday night at PHC Stadium. Dandy Town Hornets will face the Paget Lions in the opener. I'm going with Dandy Town. Punchy?
I'm going to return to win that. Yeah. I'm going to return to win that.
Griff?
Clean sweep, Dandy Town.
And if they win, Dandy Town go ahead of PHC, and then that they will have played the same amount of games. The second game at PHC on Wednesday night is St. George's Colts versus Devonshire Colts. Punchy?
Jesus. I think Colts is going to beat them. I'm going to Devonshire Colts.
Okay. And Griff?
Devonshire Colts.
Okay. And we're going to go with a clean sweep of Devonshire Colts for that match. If Devonshire Colts win and Dandy Town lose, they will go ahead of PHC and still have a game in hand. Still waiting on that ruling with the Paget Lions match. Okay. Now, heading to the weekend. Griff, you're up. St. George's Colts host North Village Rams, and I believe this game is on a Saturday.
Village.
I'm going to take North Village as well. Punchy?
I think there's a lot of stake in this game because that's also what's happening for the FA Cup.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
That's right. This is it. I still think North Village is going to have the edge in this one. I'm going to take North Village to you guys.
Okay.
And this game's on Saturday, right?
I believe it's on Saturday.
Yeah, it's on a Saturday.
Well, to tell you the truth, now after Nikita said what she said, I think it might be on Sunday.
It might be on Sunday, yeah, because exactly.
But she's saying that they're gonna play on Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah. Okay, so Dandytown versus Boulevard, and I'm gonna take once again Dandytown. Punchy.
Yeah, that's time on debate for me.
Okay.
Wrapping up that
Dandytown.
season. Yeah.
Okay. All right, this one here, I'm glad I'm last. Punchy at Police Field. Devonshire Colts host the PHC Zebras.
Whoa. That's Jesus. That's a whoa. You're right. You took the last thing. I from what I saw today, that's gonna be a tough one. I'm gonna go with Devonshire Colts to win.
Okay. Griff.
You can't win this title without taking risks. Draw.
Boy. Okay. I'm gonna take the Zebras to win this here. So somebody's gonna win.
Somebody's getting it right.
Somebody's gonna win. I'm gonna take the Zebras. All right, Griff. Another tricky one. Patrick Lions at White Hill Field against Devonshire Cougars.
Yeah. You know what? No guts, no glory. Draw.
I'm gonna take the Cougars for this. I think they got just a little more firepower right now, and Paget's still trying to figure themselves out. Punchy?
I think it's a game that I think Paget needs to win, and I think I'm going for Paget to win.
Oh, another one.
Somebody's gonna be right.
Another one.
Hey, if I get 2 draws, you guys have never heard the end of it.
Well, we know where you are right now. We'll never hear the end of it.
Hey, little Terry, what's up?
Yeah. The final Premier Division match at Lords and St. David's. Crossroads host Young Man Social Club. I'm going with Crossroads. Punchy?
I'm following suit. I'm going to Crossroads to beat that.
Griff, no guts, no glory.
Crossroads for me too. Clear. Play now. Get a good night's sleep.
You bet. You're damn right.
All right. Next match is in the first division. Somerset Trojans versus Vasco. Punchy?
Somerset.
Griff?
Somerset.
And I'm going to take the Trojans as well. Next match. This is tricky. Griff, you're up. Wolves versus Somerset Eagles.
That ain't tricky. Where's that game?
Where's Wolves playing? At Devonshire Rack.
All right. Eagles.
I'm going to take Eagles as well. They've had a week off, 2 weeks off. They'll be chomping at the bit. Punchy?
I'm taking Eagles with you guys. Yeah.
Okay. And then the final first division match is Southampton Rangers versus St. David's. I'm going to take Rangers. Punchy?
Same here, Earl. I'm taking Southampton to do that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's it's funny. I was gonna dump and a car pulled up beside me and was speaking about one of the Rangers followers and talking about I'm glad you guys are not you're really sticking behind Rangers and our organization. So and just to let you know, we drew with what they did today. So that tells you there are quite a few people watching this show.
Sure.
And So Rangers, I'm good with you. Of course, you should win that game comfortable.
Okay.
Comfortably. Yeah.
That game's at Rangers, right?
At
Yeah.
Rangers, yes.
Yes.
All right, I'm getting Rangers too.
You ain't taking the cricket team?
No. And if they were playing cricket, I'm still taking Rangers.
For sure.
All right. Well, we've come to the end of another edition of the Island Stats Football Show. We want to thank the women's senior national coach and the two players for joining us. We look to have probably next week Sunday a few other players joining us, just to wish them well as they head into that match with Costa Rica at the National Sports Center.
So Earl, before you go, if the women's national team have the practice game on Friday at that stadium at 6, is a Masters doubleheader at Somerset on Friday night as well. So I'm gonna need to borrow the Island Stats helicopter to get from National Stadium to Somerset Cricket Club right after the game, right?
Hey, Yeti, any player I know, right? That your teammates will say, "That's all right, go ahead down the stadium, watch the other game."
Yeah.
You'll be all right.
You get her second half.
Well.
All right, so gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you very much, Earl.
Interesting games Wednesday night will probably be deciders of the put teams in position, and then obviously the next round of games will basically determine who's going to be left in this hunt for relegation and the title in both divisions. All right.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Enjoy. All right.